Hello there, Mad Mike here, and welcome back to the channel. And today we're going to examine a news story that's coming out of Warner Brothers Pictures, and this is Warner Brothers not learning their lesson. To be frank about it, and that lesson is don't jump the gun, and no pun intended on that, because this is a little bit about the Suicide Squad, which is being directed by James Gunn. And it's that apparently John Cena's mystery character, which was revealed at DC Fandom to actually be the character Peacemaker, is going to be getting his own spin-off series on HBO Max. Now, this reeks of Warner Brothers trying to copy Marvel. Or DC trying to copy Marvel, because Marvel is putting out all these television shows that are going to be going on straight to Disney Plus. It's going to help that it's going to try. They're going to try and use the MCU to help that streaming service grow. DC appears to be doing the same thing. They're releasing the Snyder Cut direct to HBO Max, which honestly that makes sense, especially if it's going to be 4 hours. I completely understand that. I think that's probably a good idea. But now you have stuff like this. And the difference is that Marvel has developed into a massive brand over the years. Yes, it has degraded to an extent, but it is still a massive brand. And simply printing something with the Marvel name on it at this point is almost guaranteed to get you money in some way, shape, or form. Unless it's a movie because of, obviously the coronavirus. But in this scenario, this film has not come out. This film is due to be released in 2021. At the same time, the John Cena's character has literally just been revealed. We've only seen a little bit of him in that little kind of thing they showed at DC Fandom, which wasn't really a trailer. It was more of just kind of like a behind-the-scenes thing. And he looks cool. I'll give him that. The costume's a tiny bit goofy, but I kind of get that. It's James Gunn. He wants a bunch of bright and shiny colors and all that shit. But I don't think that it's... you're jumping the gun. You're jumping the gun monumentally. Again, it reminds me a lot of when they did Man of Steel and they said, oh, yeah, we're going to do Batman v Superman and Wonder Woman and Justice League and all this stuff. It's like, get a couple of good films under your belt before you start announcing all this shit. And in this scenario, the movie hasn't even come out yet. So the only thing you know is that this character had a positive response when it came to their premiere with the advertising. It had a very positive advertising response, or at least I can assume so if they're greenlighting a series about it. So that's all you have to go on. You don't have the actual film performance. So what happens now that you've greenlit this and that you're going to be sinking money into this? And what happens if the movie comes out and everybody hates John Cena's character? Nobody likes him. So what then? Then you pull the series and you have a bunch of wasted money in a system where right now you really can't afford to waste money. So I think this is a ploy to try and grow HBO Max. I don't think it's really anything more than that. Maybe to capitalize on the popularity of John Cena and kind of that, that they've been teasing his character for so long. Now, to give you a little bit of a backstory on Peacemaker, I don't know too much about his character. Apparently, this is going to be close to the original version of his character, where basically he's this homicidal lunatic that will kill anybody in the name of liberty. Which, again, it's just the character himself, the backstory, his father was like a commander of like a Nazi prison camp. And a bunch of stuff like that. I doubt they're going to go with that type of an origin story, since it's set fairly far past World War II at this point. But it would be interesting to see if they did try and manipulate his background and try and incorporate some of that like stuff where he's literally insane, which again kind of makes sense for Suicide Squad. I don't think his character is necessarily out of place. But again, I feel like DC's jumping the gun here. I feel like they're probably planning more announcements like this, and the only thing I can say is that they better hope that this works, because right now they're banking everything on James Gunn regarding both of these projects, which is Suicide Squad, which, I mean, James Gunn basically did Suicide Squad with Marvel when he did Guardians of the Galaxy. That was kind of a semi-version of that, except the characters weren't as evil as most of the Suicide Squad characters usually are. Um, so you're going a little bit of a darker tone with it, but at the same time, it's going to have that James Gunn humor. It's going to have that kind of snarky, sick, kind of fucked up humor that he's known for. You're going to have issues with, I think you might have issues maybe in going away from the tone of the original film, because I think that, again, Warner Brothers is trying to copy Disney a little bit, where they're making all these films. Oh, they're all bright, colorful, and all this shit. And really, they were originally meant to be kind of these darker, like grittier, a lot of grays and blacks and stuff like that. They were meant to be kind of the darker version of what Marvel was doing, because Marvel was doing a lot, and they still are doing a lot of those, very colorful, somewhat kid-friendly type of films that they have all the comedy and stuff like that. And that's really what they wanted from James Gunn, was they wanted a little bit of that Marvel touch to put on their films. And again, I don't necessarily think it's out of place with the Suicide Squad. And if this thing actually is going to be rated R, which a lot of people are saying it probably will be, I am all for that. I think a rated R Suicide Squad was the way to go originally, when you had David Ayer doing the first film, and also, not fuck up the villain with that. Just have the villain be the Joker. It makes a lot more sense. But yeah, this is it's not huge news, but this is news that I think if we see more coming out about this, if we see like they're going to announce, oh hey, he's getting a spin-off show, and Idris Elba's character is getting a spin-off show, and Margot Robbie's character is getting a spin-off show. If you start seeing shit like that, then I think you're going to see like, okay, they're just copying Marvel. All they're doing is copying Marvel to try and get viewers and subscribers to HBO Max. That's the only thing that they're doing. And I still firmly believe that's the only reason why this show was greenlit and announced, is because they don't have any ideas right now. They're just saying, okay, James Gunn wrote it, he writes gold, just have him write it and we'll produce it. I don't know who had the brainchild for this. Again, if Gunn is writing these episodes and directing some of them, or writing the series in its entirety and also directing several of the episodes, I'd say it probably came from him. I'd say he probably liked John Cena on set, and he made a pitch to an executive at some point during the production of Suicide Squad, or the earlier production of it. And that executive or producer proceeded to run with that idea until we came to this point. Now, if you were a smart business person, you probably would have said, okay, let's let the movie come out. Let's keep this on the back burner. Let's not tell anybody about it. Maybe write a pilot script, write a first episode. We'll see how it goes. If his character is popular enough, then we'll greenlight the spinoff, and we'll begin production on it, and you'll already have the first script done. That's what most executive producers would probably do. You don't just go ahead and greenlight it because James Gunn writes gold, okay? Because series are very different than films. Now, James Gunn, as far as I'm aware, has actually done both. I know for a fact he's done film, and I'm pretty sure he's also written for various series over the years as well. He's from, I think, the original Trauma Camp. I can't remember exactly. No, Asylum, I think, is actually where he was originally from. In terms of where he came up from, he came out of a horror background in horror comedies and things like that. So again, it makes a bit more sense to go with a bit of a darker tone, but still keep that kind of fucked up and weird comedy that he's known for. So I'm not going to judge this project because two reasons. Number one, I haven't seen the Suicide Squad. Nobody has. So we don't know how people are going to react to John Cena's character. So I'm waiting on that. I'm waiting to be able to judge that on its own, and whether I think his character can carry his own individual series. And then after that, judging the series on its own. I'm assuming they're probably going to go with a small first season if this actually goes to production. 6 to 8 episodes, something along those lines. Nothing too extravagant, just enough to kind of get people's beaks wet. And then if it's successful, then maybe greenlight a second season, get that through, kind of like what Disney did with The Mandalorian, basically, with that idea. But yeah, that's just kind of my opinion on this. I think Warner Brothers is jumping the gun. I think they're trying to copy Disney, and I don't think they're going about doing this the right way. I think they should wait and see how people react to John Cena's character before they greenlight the series. But again, that's just me. I want to know what you think, though. Are you excited for the Suicide Squad? Do you think that it would be interesting to see John Cena play this character in this film and then subsequently have his own series? Do you think that the character of Peacemaker can carry his own series and that John Cena can do the character justice? Again, if you know a bit more about the comic book side of it, unlike me. As usual, put your thoughts in the comments below. I like to read them. Hit the bell for notifications, hit the like button, subscribe, and remember, I live my life free of compromise. Do you?